Who is Les Claypool?
Who is Les Claypool? Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography. We're old friends and fans coming together, BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. This week's musical artist is Primus. It was brought to you by the miraculous Tim.
Hi, I'm a miracle.
In a future week upcoming, we'll get some Simon and Garfunkel, and I think that's the only thing you brought here recently. Bill!
I do what I can. It's not much.
And I'm gonna be bringing you probably Teenage Bottle Rocket. I was on the fence between Bottle Rocket and Public Enemy. I think I'm gonna go Teenage Bottle Rocket first.
Which is funny because Public Enemy is high on my list for next
I
too.
know.
So,
Well, we're gonna get to them here real
yep,
soon. Real soon.
real soon. Yeah.
I'm Jason, and also with us is our special guest, Trey.
Hi, I'm bringing you Butthole next.
He brought.
Bill,
He's gonna bring us Butthole Surfers next. He's also brought us the Deftones
hmm The
yeah,
and
replacements.
the Replacements.
yeah, but Bill needs more butthole in his life.
Okay.
No, I
Don't we
can't even
all?
comment on that.
We started this Brown album review out fucking
It is
great.
the Brown album, so fuck it.
All right.
My turn.
So, we got to state the obvious: new drummer. Herb Alexander is out, and in comes Brain Mantia. Um, which I'll let you guys get into it. That was obviously a big contention when this album came out. A lot of people jumped off the train after Punch Bowl because of it. But as a drummer, I definitely have some views. And yeah, I don't know. Do you want me to just get into it?
I mean, I jumped off. I'll say this: like, I jumped off after Tales because I heard Tales back in the day, and like, it just wasn't pork soda. It wasn't Sailing the Seas of Cheese, and I'm like,
Sure, sure.
yeah. I mean, by '97, I was already starting to get into like other things, so I completely missed this record when it came out. That's all I'll
So,
say.
Bill, why don't you start us off? Since we've already commented how maybe we were there.
Maybe we were there, maybe we weren't.
I mean, 97, I wasn't alive, so was definitely not on the train when this came out.
Sure, sure.
Um, so Return of Sathington, I was hoping it was gonna be more similar to the sounds of what we were getting before. This one, it felt like the route they went through with Punch Bowl, they kept pursuing it, I guess would be the way to say it. And for me, it wasn't a direction that I thought that I would like as they went down it. Um, but then Fisticuffs came on, and Top Song Contender, fortunately or unfortunately, in my opinion, best song on the album. Um, I really loved it. Because then Golden Boy right afterwards, I just really, it just wasn't for me. Over the Falls, again, I just kind of struggle with that one. Shake Hands with Beef, I liked. I don't know. It was a roller coaster for me. I'll say when I got to Puddin' Tane, I was excited to like, oh, we got Puddin' Time coming back. We don't have Puddin' Time coming back. Um,
Oh, the good.
it's a good song in its own right, but I think because of the expectation I had coming in seeing that track, as well as the vibe that had been set by the album up to that point, it started going. It's like, oh, like it was disappointment would be the word to use because it wasn't what I wanted. It's not bad though. It's still a great song. but it's just not what I wanted at that point. Bob's Party Time Lounge, kind of point two. Like same thing. It's like I just wasn't as big of a fan of it. Um Duchess might be my second favorite song on the album. Um it's a good song. I like, like I like that beat and the stuff going on with it. Um then I mean the only other one might be Chastising of Renegade. I kind of like that one. The rest I could honestly I could kind of leave them for me. Um this was one it I mean I only got I mean listen to it for the grinder. I listened to it once more besides that. I could just need some more listens throughout it, but I struggle a little bit with this one. You mentioned the drummer changing. I don't think that affected this album that much. Because the drums they didn't stand out in a negative way for me whatsoever. It just felt like they muted themselves, I guess would be the way of describing it. Like they downturned themselves overall from what they were doing. I don't
Okay.
know if that's the right way to describe it, but that's just how it sounded to me.
Well, and I mean that's certainly legitimate. That like I'm not going to downplay that. The general consensus among the populace is that like the drums instead of the bass were kind of brought to the forefront on this album, kind of showcasing a new drummer. But there's also a weird distortion throughout the drums on this album, giving it that brown sound that really turned people off. So
Oh,
I don't know if that's an expectation thing, like like was Herb that integral to the sound, or the popularity? Who knows? Again, as a drummer, I have my own takes on those. Um, yeah, no, that's it.
I would love to follow that up.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, please do.
Wait.
I was blown away by this record. Like, after Tales from the Punch Bowl, because I slept on this record, holy shit. This is down and dirty fucking Primus. The Return of Willoughby. That's how you open a fucking Primus record. Top song contender. Fisticuffs reminds me of Pork Soda. This is the Primus I like. The bass sounds so fucking dirty. Golden Boy, I love the funk. And Aphrodite from the Principal says this boy just ain't no good. Over the Falls, I like when Les goes up in pitch on the vocals. Like the bass goes up with it.
Uh-huh.
This was a top song. Shake Hands with Beef. I mean, that's a fucking classic. I'm sure if you ain't heard Wyona, you probably ain't heard Shake Hands, but whatever. Camelback, what a great drum sound. It's like bad production done in a great way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if that makes sense,
It
some of
makes
the
sense to me, my friend.
like
Yeah.
some of the bass tones like reminding me of like Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth, like the that fucking like tone they have here on this record is just so fucking good. Hats Off, another great example. It sounds like dirty old Southern country. Wonderful production. The lyrics, another top song. Puddin' Time. I mean, I agree with Bill. It's no pudding time, but it's still fucking good. Bob's Party Time. The opening bass riffs reminded me of No Effects. but then like it quickly like divulges into a Primus song, like a badass Primus song. Throw this one on during a get together. I don't care what the fuck you're doing. You're gonna have a blast. Like if
You're gonna
Bob's
have a
party
party
time,
time.
Duchess's. I wasn't a fan of the vocal melody, but when it's just like the music, it's fucking fantastic. Like the upstroke guitar, still not a skipper on this record. Rest in Bones, super dirty drums. Normally, this, like any other band, this would sound like shit, but it just works with Primus. Like the bass is super cool. It comes in at like really odd times. We passed around a flask of Nakamandu and a half-liter bottle of wine. Top song contender. Coddingtown. My notes just say let's fucking go. Kalamazoo. Super weird. It may have been residual badassery left over from Coddington, but I don't think my mind could process it at the time. I need more time with it. The chastening of Renegade. I totally slept on this album. Jesus is what my notes say. And Arnie, I thought they were about to go into a Dire Maker with those opening drums, but then it goes down and dirty, sticking with Pork Soda for best closer. But so far, holy shit, this is damn good. I love the production on this record. It's very like early Mudhoney. It works really well with this band. The songs on here were all great. They were very dynamic compared to the last record. I'm keeping. Oh, I see why Tim had this in the grinder. This is some top tier Primus. That's my notes for Brown. So, it took me a while to get to Antipop because I was stuck on this record for a few days.
I would love to follow that up, Trey, if you're good with going last.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I barely know.
Cool. Yeah. So as a drummer, you could say that Herb is he's very classic. You know, he's very Neil Peart. He's very um, Louis Bellson in a way where it's very it flows. Like everything he plays, you take the bass, guitar, vocals out, and just hear Herb Alexander play drums and be like, "That's a fucking song." Whereas Brain is very staccato, like a lot of cymbal chokes, a lot of weird, funky rhythms. Um, it's very choppy in a way that I think really lends itself to the just horrendously dirty production on this album. That,
It's
like
so
Jason said,
nasty.
it is brown.
It's so good though.
Yeah, it works in such a way that just as a drummer, I love the new drumming feel. And just as a musician, I'm fascinated by the production on this album. It's like everything you shouldn't do, Primus actually makes work. And yeah, just kind of going through the songs, like The Return of Saddington Willoughby it's a weird long intro that shouldn't work, especially considering what Primus has been doing up to this point. But it does. I love the crowd noise. I love just kind of like the stomping march feel of it. It works. And then yeah, when it kicks in, that bass, like the bass throughout this album is so dirty. Fisticuffs, like my notes say that bass tone. Yeah, it's dirty, but man, dirty in such a chef's kiss way. Um, Golden Boys classic Primus. The two singles from here, Over the Falls and Shake Hands with Beef, you could argue are the highlights of this album. I love Over the Falls. It is so 1920s dirty in a way that just really works. Um, Sounds like a fretless upright that Les is playing, and he starts hitting those like stabs, and it gets me every time. I love the cymbal chokes. I love the second verse. feeling 12 units shy of a bachelor's degree. Yeah, that's relatable. Um, Camelback Cinema. I mean, standing tall at 5'4". Let's go. That song rips. Um, Hats off. Oh, I forgot to mention Shake Hands with Beef. Yeah, it's sludgy. It's heavy. Um, Brain's bass drum foot and Les's right hand thumb are so syncopated to the point where they're actually both dragging at the same time. And it just works, especially when Les kind of like picks it back up and gets it in time. And there's just this great syncopation between the E string and the bass drum. Gets me every time. Um, where to leave off? Hats off is it's great. Like I love it. Pudding Tane, no, it's not Pudding Time, but it's just as classic. Like Pudding Tane is great. And then yeah, Bob's Party Time, like love that song. Much like the air is getting slippery or Welcome to This World. Bob's Party Time gets stuck in my head a lot. You know, it's Bob's Party Time. And then yeah, Duchess and the Proverbial Mind Spread. Classic Primus. That bass line is just incredible. Um, and then yeah, I mean, obviously, like if you're watching this, you're a couple weeks behind. They've been doing the Interstellar Drum Derby on YouTube, where Primus has chosen their next drummer, and that is one of the songs they were using to see if people could get the brain feel. And yeah, I mean, just as a drummer, the drum choices on this album are incredible, left and right. Love Duchess. Rest in Bones, super cool. Coddington. Coddingtown is probably the heaviest metal they've done so far.
Yeah.
It's just pure beef, pure beef. And yeah, that bass line is like ridiculously good. Kalamazoo, yeah, it's a little wacky. Man, it works. I love Kalamazoo. And then, yeah, the chastising of Renegade and Arnie. Like, as a way to close out this album, I'm gonna say that like neither song are necessarily standouts. They're not necessarily top songs, but they're not stinkers either. The album definitely closes in a way where I want to go back to the Return of Saddington Willoughby and start this thing over again. And I remember when I first got into this album, it kind of blew my mind. Where like I was stuck on this thing for months. Like, oh yeah, put it in the car and just on repeat let this thing go for 6 months because there's a bunch of good stuff here. Um, and yeah, at first glance, the production's pretty dirty and ugly, but it works. Like I've never actually heard this album sound bad.
No, it sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, like a
Like
lot of
I was blown away. I felt bad. I was like, holy shit, I wish I was listening to this in 97 versus The Color and the Shape. Like
this is better in the color and the shape for sure.
this was an amazing it took me a long time to get. It took me a couple days cuz we only get a week to listen to this shit. It took me a couple days to get off of this to go to the next record.
Oh, and we'll get to that one too. But
We'll
yeah,
get to that one.
this one is severely underlooked. I mean, obviously the four that have come before it are all like pretty top tier and or very popular. But this is one of those ones that really showed me that like no, Primus, there's so much more to Primus.
I could see why you wouldn't like it too, though. Like I could see, like, if you're not a fan of that like dirty sound.
And
But
again,
I-
noticed the differences in drummers' styles because I'm a drummer. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
nobody's
yeah.
gonna care about staccato versus fluid or whatever, you know.
It is a different style. It is a different style, but like I think they mask it well with the production.
Mhm.
Like it blends
And when you
together.
consider what was going on in '97,
Well, shit was going on in
a
'97.
lot of shit was going on. So why not put out the Brown album? Like, yo, you guys want to do shit? Let us show you how to do it.
I mean, it ain't a white album, but I could see the black album, brown album comparison here. I'd make that
So
argument.
what's interesting about that is Les has said that, Beatles had their white album, Primus needs to have their brown album. That's
It,
where the title came from.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So what's interesting is while you guys were talking, I've actually changed my rankings because I'm looking. I highlighted the songs that I wanted to talk about, and I'm sitting here looking at them drunk, obviously, and going, "Why the fuck did I want to talk about these songs? I'd rather talk about these songs."
They're
So,
all. I mean, this album never lets up from the beginning to the end. To me,
so
like,
Return of Savington. I think this is the last song in the story of Savington and Willoughby. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's a good opener. It doesn't quite get to the Candyman level that Professor Nutterbutters does.
I love it though, cause it like just when you put that record on, like I remember I was playing, I hit Spotify and like I just hit play and like that song started. I'm like I was here for it, like I was in the crowd, like
I
let's
mean,
fucking go.
I love it too. It's got a very like 1984, this is the speech I'm giving and you're going to follow.
Yeah,
It's also got that classic Primus Carnival Barker feel.
Yeah. And to a degree it has that classic Primus timelessness to it.
Yeah.
Like you think of like Too Many Puppies. There's a timelessness to Savington that I don't think people in 2022 realized as opposed to people in 2025. Like there's something there that, 3 years ago we didn't have. Now we've got it again. Anyway, um, Fisticuffs,
We'll
I
get there.
love a good story. I love a good story. And Fisticuffs does give you a good story. It's one of those historical stories. Golden Boys, it's highlighted. I don't remember why.
Because it's classic Primus.
That makes sense. Camelback Cinema, the fucking drums. That is my note. The fucking drums. There is something going on with the drums. And I think that's the difference between the two drummers. I think and I may be wrong. Tim, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Tim Alexander understood rhythm, whereas Brain understands tone.
the tone on this record is so like the
Well, and
opening
I'm
drums
almost
on that song is
I,
just
I feel like the rhythm is there, but there's a tone that's there that's not there with Tim
any other
Alexander.
Primus record. Any other Primus record that
Yeah,
I've heard
like
so far.
it's just something there. I feel
a
like
lot of that has to do with the production techniques and how they actually recorded the drums.
yeah, because I
Sounds
read
very
that
open mic'd room. And yeah, push it to the red.
I read they consider this their turd album. Like that's why it's brown because it sounds like it was recorded through a turd. And I get that. I totally get that. But
I get it too.
And
I
I
think
also
that's
want more. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's by design and I think it makes total sense.
It
Yeah.
works so
Yeah.
fucking well with this band. Les's
I have
lyrics over that turd just sounds so
oh
good.
yeah. Yeah. I have hats off highlighted for a reason I don't remember. Bob's Party Time Lounge, I remember liking that one a lot. I don't have Resting Bones or Coddington highlighted, but when I listen to them, I remember liking them quite a bit, especially Resting Bones. So I don't know why I didn't highlight that one. I have no fucking idea. Kalamazoo. I've been to Kalamazoo, which is probably why I highlighted it. Uh, Seriously, I'm so drunk at this point, I don't fucking know what's going on. The chastising of Renegade, I have it highlighted. I must have liked it.
It's a banger.
Arnie. I actually pulled the lyrics up for Arnie. And yeah, this is about a guy that sings into a microphone and then lights himself on fire. Why wouldn't I like that?
Right?
So I have stuff to
And what a better way
say.
to close an album. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this was one of those albums where at the time, I was kind of rushing my way through them. And when I got to this album, I've listened to it and I was kind of like, okay. And I really didn't think it was going to do much as far as my rankings. I thought it was going to be dead last. And
I
then
did too. I did too.
when I
I
broke
went
it
into this
down,
thinking like, okay, Tales from the Punch Bowl. Yeah, to me, it's a decline compared to the previous records. They're probably like the Brown album. Okay, I remember Shake Hands with Beef,
yeah,
but then like the from the first track to the 15th, I was hooked immediately. I was like, God damn it. It sucks.
yeah.
This record went up against Tori Amos and the Grinder.
Like when I re-listened to it and I broke it down, it went from okay, this album is shit to this album is the shit. And you know what? Both of those titles are applicable. So I
From
just
Hence
the
said
the
that.
Brown album.
from
Yeah.
the first like from the I was hooked from the first. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I slept on this record. I wish I could take back the last 20, 30 years and listen to this record because I
Yeah, it's like
slept on this
28
shit.
years now.
And
I slept on this.
this is how I felt about this entire discography is what the fuck have I been doing for 30 years of my life? And
Not
any
listening
So
to
I
band,
know Bill
Primus.
was mentioning corrosion of conformity. I know he didn't like COC, but this is what I try to do with all my picks, guys. I try to bring you stuff that you might have slept on that I know is going to change your world.
and
I
see
immediately went to Amazon and was pricing this motherfucker on vinyl. Like,
and see,
That's the good sign. Yeah.
I told Jason that, the reason I wanted to do this is because they were on a short list of bands that I wanted to pick as a Patreon. And for the most part, those bands are kind of goofy-ish, little, not little, but they've got that goofy sound. And this band to me transcends that goofiness.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're silly. Yeah, they're weird. But
Nobody else sounds like them.
holy fucking shit, are they one of the best bands you've ever heard? Yeah. Fuck
Yeah, they
yeah.
kind of are. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
they kind of are.
Yeah.
let's very quickly go through Rhinoplasty.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I don't know how you go through this quickly. Like,
Right.
You do.
Every
Scissor
song's a
Man.
banger. There was also a VHS release. Um, God, I haven't seen it since probably '98. My homie Justin Alvarez had it. Shout out Alvarez. Um, yeah, more covers, some live tracks. Um,
That version of Bob's Party Time, though.
I know, right?
I didn't. So with this one, I didn't listen to the two live albums.
Go listen to Bob's Party Time on this.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely. What's weird about this one is the songs that I liked are the ones I've never heard before. Scissor Man, Silly Putty, Amos Moses.
Oh,
Yeah,
Amos Moses, dude.
I love those fucking songs. Now
Holy shit.
the
that one
thing that
works a
should
little
not
too well,
be
right?
the thing that should not be I have heard before, but I mean, come on. It's
Yeah, I
fucking
think that's the one
Primus.
that's going to bring people to this. Um, but yeah, I mean, they nail it.
Yeah, they
I
didn't
mean,
it didn't disappoint. It didn't
no,
disappoint.
It's fucking Primus doing Metallica.
Yeah, it doesn't
On the
disappoint.
same album where they do Stanley Clark and Jerry Reed.
And yet another Gabriel song.
And XTC as well. Scissor Man is another XTC.
That's true.
They also finally bust out a Police cover,
Which is such a weird fucking.
which of all, go back and watch our Police videos.
Out of all the
That's
Police
a great
songs,
discography, but yeah,
But
that's a weird one to pick.
that's a
But
weird
see,
one
honestly,
to pick.
now I didn't listen to the last two, but honestly, that Police cover is probably the low point for this EP for me. Even even Too Many Puppies, which is just a re-recording essentially, I think is better than Behind My Camel.
See,
It's an
I say the
interesting
family,
remake.
the
Yeah.
family and the fishing net's my low point.
I'm a Gabriel fan, so I can't.
Scissor Man, I don't know the original song, but holy
I don't
shit.
either. But
That is a
that is
Primus top song contender right
Well,
there.
and if nobody remembers, maybe we should pull them out for this episode for the for the channel because I certainly haven't heard the discography. But XTC was one of those like '80s new wave, somewhere between new wave and The Cure kind of bands.
yeah.
They had a lot of really interesting stuff. I have no idea how many albums they have, but that might be a fun one to get into.
That might be a fun one to do.
Yeah,
All I think of is Making Plans for Nigel, but I know they had more.
clearly they had more because Scissor Man rips.
Oh, they had that Dear God song.
Yeah, they had. I remember like they were definitely a 120 minutes band.
Yeah.
Like you're only getting this after midnight, and you're only getting it Sunday nights.
For some reason, I seem to think of them as Public Image Limited. I kind of
Yeah, but
lump,
they're less industrial, I would say.
yeah, I just kind of lump those two together for some reason.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
for
fair.
for Amos Moses, Scissor Man, the thing that should not be. This is
I mean, we
worth
got to
owning.
mention Silly Putty. It's an old
Silly,
Stanley
yeah,
Clark song, which Stanley
it's
Clark
fun.
is one of the greatest bass players ever.
It's
And
fun.
so to have one of the greatest bass players playing another one of the greatest bass players, like just as a musician,
Even that
blew my mind.
re-recording of Too Many Puppies, it's not fucking bad.
It's not bad. I prefer the
It's
original
fun.
though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But I
but
mean,
like
you
I
can't
could
fuck
see
with
why
that.
they included it. Like it's not worth. It's not bad enough to the point where you'd be like, "Oh, fucking throw that away."
Yeah,
Like,
no, you wouldn't skip it. You'd be like,
Well, and
"Fuck
that's
yeah,
also
too
a
many
thing I think
puppies."
where I think that's a thing too where he got a new drummer in, so there's just a new take on it.
yeah,
And so yeah, why not record it, right? And then it actually turned out pretty good. Why not put it out on our little EP that's, an album's length.
And then you get The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Yeah.
was not on the version I listened to.
That's not part of the original release.
It's
No.
not part.
I think
It was
that
like
was
an
a
iTunes.
standalone.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like an iTunes type
I
bullshit.
think it was
Yeah.
actually a vinyl only.
Yeah. Well, and they did a video for it. We'll get to Animals Should Not Try to Act Like People later, but it was part of that package.
So, again, another Primus EP that I could easily pick up if I saw it in a store.
Yeah,
Sure.
fuck yeah.
Like these Primus EPs have been worth the.
And one of the things I learned is that the Chinese or Japanese symbols on the side that run alongside of Rhinoplasty are absolute nonsense, which makes me want to own it more.
Which makes you want to get a tattoo of it. Yeah.
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 Because
And
I-
we got to point out, too, that, I mean, this is what, 1997, 98. Guess what came out those years?
I don't fucking remember. I'm drunk.
There was a little TV show called South Park that Primus ended up doing the theme song for. And back in those days, they had a building called Tom's Rhinoplasty.
Yeah. That's true. I fucking love
Where you
South
could make
Park.
yourself look like David Hasselhoff.
I fucking love South Park. I need to watch South Park all of
I love that show.
It's such a bitch show ass to
still-
watch, like streaming though.
Yeah,
I
oh yeah.
worry. I do worry about this new season because I feel
I
like
don't. I
well,
don't.
things are
I'm not worried at
happening.
all.
Things are happening so fast that I feel like even they
No,
can't keep
Trey
up.
Barker and Matt can keep up with that shit.
Yeah, I mean they write the shows and have them for air in 4 days. They're
I'm
always
sorry.
current.
I'm sorry, Bill. You're bored because you don't know what the fuck South Park is.
He knows
I
what
Which
know
says
South
it
what
all.
South Park is.
Fucking
I'm
Barbara
not that
Probably the
Streisand.
far under a
greatest show of
rock.
the last 30 years. Yeah, other than maybe Arrested Development or The Sopranos. But
I mean, I like Simpsons personally and Futurama, but
Fuck yeah,
Hey,
dude.
I'm not
I mean,
saying you're
I
wrong.
like them too. But
I'm not saying
Simpsons
you're wrong, but
predate.
when South Park is on point, it's on point unlike any other show that's ever been.
But the
Yep.
Simpsons predict the future.
I'm saying they've done it
Well,
repeatedly.
But South Park will remind you of what you were doing that week.
South Park is very like, you watch an episode of South Park from like 2004, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
I remember everything that happened that week. Yeah.
that's true, but 20 years from now, you can still bite my shiny metal ass.
You damn right.
Absolutely.
Well,
Well, you
Bill,
could suck on my chocolate salty balls.
Bill, you got the dot. Speaking of chocolate, where are we putting the Brown album?
Speaking of brown
Oh
album, yeah.
gosh. For Jason, um, I think Jason's gonna have this one at number 3 above Frizzle Frazzle. I don't think he put it above Cheese though.
Would be incorrect. I'm putting it above cheese,
Wow.
But not pork soda though.
not pork soda. No, this
Okay.
album blew me the fuck away. That's my hot take.
Tim for sure likes this more than Punch Bowl, I
That is
would
correct.
say.
That is correct.
I think he likes it more than Silly Caesar Cheese. I think he's gonna put this one number 1.
Oh, you're still talking about me?
Yeah.
No, you were correct the
Oh,
first time.
number 3 was okay.
Yeah, hence you're correct. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
You nailed it, Bill.
Yeah, you nailed that one.
Trey.
Who the fuck knows?
Hey, hey,
I mean, I feel no. I feel like it's gonna be number 4, so it's behind pork soda. Just because I can't see him putting above it. You do have it above it?
hey. Yes.
Well, in that case, you're gonna have it right below Sailing the Seas with cheese.
A little bit further.
Oh, it's your number 1?
Oh, ho, ho,
So,
ho.
so with this album, when I listen to these albums, these 5 albums all together, I really sit there and I was like, this is just mud. Like it's the actual
Not to be confused
definition
with
of
Peter Jack or Bill or Dennis.
yeah, I'm like, this is the actual definition of grunge. Like it's just sludge. When I went back and listened to it and broke it down, I'm like, this is fucking outstanding. And I loved it. And even when you guys were talking, I moved it from number 2 to number 1. So it is what it is.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
fair.
I
I
don't
mean,
disagree.
yeah, I don't disagree at all.
Yeah.
Bill,
Well, I'm gonna have this one at number 5.
And that's fair too.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair too.
Yeah.
Color code will tell all.
And it is definitely one of those very
It's a
divisive
decisive.
albums.
Yeah, I could see it being
Yeah.
divisive.
Yeah. That
It's
is the word, right? It's not decisive. It's
decisive. Decisive.
What
Yeah, it's
what are words?
Right.
What word
Words are not
are?
working. What are
this
words?
just this nails that like early '90s grunge, but cleaned
And I
up enough where like it's like calculated just goodness.
and I,
The
I think
sound, the
that
production.
I think that's what I liked about it. Like, to me, this is the sound of the 90s. It is fucking nasty.
It's
It's
so
The sound of
dirty.
good '90s, yeah.
There are moments where it's apathetic, whereas their early work is much more political. There's moments of this where it's very apathetic, and I don't know, it felt much more 90s to me than some of
Well,
the
this
other.
is also around the time the Monica Lewinsky thing happened.
Yeah. And
There was a lot of apathy in the world. Yeah,
yeah, I think for a lot of people, our heroes were knocked down to normality, which is
sure,
something we didn't really see since Nixon. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
not
Yeah.
saying Nixon is a hero to all people, but for some he was, I guess.
I
What was
guess.
that Public Enemy fucking thing? Elvis was a hero to most, but to me, he didn't mean shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm paraphrasing, but
everyone has a different perspective on everything, and I don't know. I'm fucking drunk. I'm getting ready to start rambling about some dumb shit.
All right.
I
I
Well,
need
think
another
that's
one.
our clue. That's our cue to wrap it up here.
the
You
beauty of
can
life,
you can be drunk and show up on our show too if you join our Patreon.
different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. And
Different drinks for different stinks.
all right.
Who's
Well,
the
we're gonna
only one
wrap
that's
this
still?
up.
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah, yeah. Because
we're
we're
gonna
talking about
close this
Todd
episode
Bridges.
out.
Looking it up right now.
Stick
You'll find out.
around. We're gonna talk about Antipop up next. Be safe and what, Trey?
Fuck, I don't know. Make good decisions.
Rest in peace, Dana Plato.
Make better decisions than me.
There's a time that lies.
And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 and then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.
Yo,
He said-
come back now. You hear?